my name is Judd Jarvis. I run pretty much this facility that has the wood and the fabric side. What we do different starts with, we have a fairly close relationship with our mill, which is about 30 miles away, just on the other side of the mountain. They're part of the NHLA, which is the National Hardwood Lumber Association. They're part of the AHLA, which is the Appalachian Hardwood Lumber Association. And they have their sustainability certifications through that. Typically with Appalachian hardwoods, those tend to be family-owned properties. They do selective logging, they don't do clear-cut logging, so they go in, pull out the ones they need to pull out, and then they leave that area alone. All their wood comes from Appalachian sources, sustainably harvested here in the US. We do everything solid hardwood. It's really common in the industry, especially for tabletops and things like this, to be ply with veneers. So we, build these things to last. The hope is sort of like my grandparents' generation, that this would be then something you could hand down, whereas something that might only last, 5 years and then needs to be heading to a sanitary landfill because it's made of chipboard or, lesser materials. We have a fairly strict eye on what the contents of the finishes that we use and the type of materials that we use. Same is true of any of the hardware that we have to use, which typically are made to a European standard, which is just as stringent as what California has. So we do our best to research every little bit that comes into the shop and what we do with it. The finishes that we use are zero-VOC. They're hand rubbed, so they're not a spray application, which is very common. So it takes a little bit more time in order to do that. We found a company out of Wisconsin that does actually heat treat their linseed, so it doesn't have any of the heavy metal catalyst in there. And then with our stained linseed, we get from a Belgian company that everything is included. It's linseed and stain all in one. It's zero-VOC. With any of these products, the workers really, all they need to do is wear gloves. A big one that we immediately try to avoid in any products is formaldehyde. That's the number one. And I always worry about that on the customer side, but I'm also more attuned to the fact that my workers have to live with it and use it in its raw stage. And so I try and find the best fit for both worlds, because honestly, I don't want to have to wear a Tyvek suit and a respirator to do anything. And usually, if I can fulfill that requirement, the other one is always in there as well for the consumer, so I usually go at it in that direction. Another big difference is, and most people notice it when they come in the shop, a lot of shops tend to smell like lacquer and paint thinner and all those things, and the shop smells like wood, which is, a great way to have it.